New Testament epistle of the Apostle Paul to the Philippians, chapter 1, verses 12 through 26, a short course for men. Philippi as it appeared in 200 BC, and how it appears today. Regarding the structure of this epistle, it begins with thankful prayer, then Paul's missionary report, thirdly, God's call to be holy, fourthly, doctrinal polemics defending the faith, and then joyful partnership. An outline of the passage for today, Paul's missionary report. He will talk about his current conditions leading to progress for the gospel, advance despite adversity, and then his constant attitude, which is joy from the Lord. He is ready either to die or to stay alive and bear more fruit, that the Philippians may progress and increase their joy. So, regarding current conditions. Verse 12, Dear friends, I want you to know that my situation has actually allowed the good news to spread farther. As a result, it has become clear to the imperial guards and to everyone else that I am confined in chains as a Christian. Please discuss together and describe Paul's situation as you understand it. He was under house arrest in Rome. When he says, I want you to know, this is a phrase that he has used in other epistles. I wanted you to know that I often intended to come to you. I wanted you to know that everyone passed through the Red Sea, and I want you to know God's grace among the churches, and in our passage, what has happened to advance the gospel. And then in Colossians he will say, I want you to know the struggle I have for you. Verse 14, Also, my being in chains has caused most of the Lord's people fearlessly to dare to speak the Lord's message. Of course, some folk who announce the Messiah do so because they are envious of me and quarrelsome, but others do so with pure motives. What does he mean when he says the Lord's message? Is this a message from the Lord or a message about the Lord? Or both? When he says they are envious, envious of what? And why are they quarrelsome? Verse 16, These folk love me, knowing that my purpose is to defend the good news. But those others announce the Messiah with selfish motives, not pure motives, supposing that they can cause me more trouble whilst I am in confinement. When he says defend the good news, defend from what? What bizarre Christian doctrine? And more trouble from whom? Other Christians, the authorities, the Jews, the pagans. Now about Paul's constant attitude. Verse 18, So what? Well, by all means, whether by pretext or in sincerity, folk are announcing the Messiah. In this I rejoice. Now, why does he say, announce the Messiah, when he could have said, announce God, announce the Lord, or just announce Jesus? Well, this had something to do with Jesus' messiahship. And what was the issue about Paul and Messiah Jesus in the early church? We know that when Paul started his mission, other Christians had been preaching the gospel in many cities of the Roman Empire. Most of those, however, were aligned with Peter in Jerusalem and therefore had a gospel friendly to the Jews, whereas Paul was allowing Gentiles to become Christian believers without adopting Jewish ceremonies, lifestyle, or even circumcision. Paul must explain himself before the emperor. Verse 19, "Moreover, I shall soon rejoice, because I know that this will result in my release through your prayers and through the help which Messiah Jesus' Spirit gives me." Yes, Paul sincerely expected that he would win his trial and be released. Now, what did Jesus say to his apostles about when they would have to give a defense before kings? Look up Matthew 10, verses 15 through 20. A very well-known verse to evangelicals is this one: "To live is Christ, to die is gain." Very brief, but what does it mean? Verse 20, "Anyway, this is what I expect and hope for. This is because I am never reticent, but with all boldness, as in the past so now too, I will exalt Christ in my body, whether by life or by death. After all, I live only to serve Christ, and when I die, he will reward me." Now, when he says, "I expect and hope for," this is an hendiates, which we could translate hopeful expectation. Verse 22, "Thus the life which I lead in my body allows me to do more productive work, yet which I should choose I do not know. I am torn betwixt the two. I would prefer to die and go be with Christ, which would be better for me, but for me to remain in my body would be better for you." When he says better, in what ways? 25. "This convinces me that I shall remain and continue helping you increase the joy which faith gives you. As a result, you will boast more about Messiah Jesus because of me when I come again to you." Now, many of us are sick, and we may soon die. So, is there any reason for which we should find ways to reverse our illnesses through lifestyle and dietary changes? Should you choose to continue with this course, then your assignment for next time is to read the entire epistle this week, then study verses 27 through chapter 2, verse 4 at netbible.org, and then visit our website at philippians.site and try to memorize at least one verse.